Pushing harder is not going to make you a better athlete. If you're an athlete who's done hard things, but now forcing yourself just doesn't work, then this is for you. If you're saying things like, I know what to do, I just can't make myself do it. When you're stuck in prep or you're stuck on a diet plan and bulldozing doesn't work anymore, the issue is not discipline, it's inner resistance. You become a better athlete by recognizing that which is inside. And I can argue that the internal is so much more important than anything that you do on the external, especially if you are an athlete that's in it for the long game. So you recognize that one part is exhausted and the other one just wants results, and you're being pulled in two directions. When you reach this point, and I can speak from experience, you start asking questions like, is this for me anymore? Is it worth it? Is it worth the sacrifice? My whole life is surrounded by this thing. Am I doing it because I want to, or because others tell me that I have potential and they can see potential? But losing the passion doesn't mean that the fire is gone. Maybe you still have the dream. So here's the thing. If you decide to reignite the fire, you have to get back to basics and start ignoring the outside noise, because you discover your fire through identity, not through outcome, because the stage and the trophies don't matter. They really don't if you are miserable in what you're doing. Other people's fire might not be there anymore and they need that permission to pivot and sometimes completely stop, and that is so fine. It does not mean failure. Pivoting from what you once used to do is huge because it requires you to change the way that you see yourself, essentially, especially if you've made the sport your whole life. This becomes less about a hobby and changing hobbies and more about changing identities. If you fall into the bracket of wanting to reignite the fire for the sport, you want to find the narratives that are running behind your fatigue. This might look like questions coming into your mind like, do I lose credibility if I lose my leanness? Am I still a bodybuilder if I am not as motivated and structured in my off season as I am in my prep? These are not motivational issues alone. Then you want to create an off season alter ego to make things a little bit more fun. You go into craftsmanship and who you need to become without people viewing you in this moment, and it becomes about what you need to do to earn that undeniable presence when you do go back on stage to eventually be seen. I can go into the whole process of what that would look like in my next video. But if you want to pivot away, pivoting away might sound like wanting to regain the freedom without losing direction. You have to introduce novelty into an already made structure. You want to give yourself more flexibility, more play, more curiosity, more continuity in this process. Some important questions that may come up. Sometimes obsession can feel like strength. Are you training from fear or devotion? Because both are very similar, but they have an incredibly different feel. Another thing is when you're coming from the obsession into embodiment or into the freedom, you want to assess whether stillness feels dangerous or unsettling. Are you taking rest days? If not, why? Another question is, are you using the gym as avoidance to other things? Because these things really do matter when you come from such an intense sport into everyday life. These things will naturally come up. Being aware of something means that you can change and pivot. Getting your mind right is the foundation that the sport actually runs on. It makes things better for you if you choose to stay in it. We know that the mind controls the body, and what you tell your mind is what your body is going to do. So getting your mind right is really important. If this sounds uncomfortable for you, it's probably relevant.